The movie begins and we see Chang-soo, who like every day is late for work again. He was always late because of his helpful nature. Chang-soo took the same bus to work every day, and on the same bus he traveled with a beautiful girl named Era. Chang-soo really liked Era, but even every year he haven't been able to say a word to her. Now we show the lab where scientists discover a magical flower and 100 years of hard work. Using that flower, they were trying to make a magical perfume. This perfume was being developed at the request of the chairman of a big company. Why he wants this perfume? Well, we'll find out shortly. Back to Chang-soo, he's seen running to the showroom where he works as a car salesman. Once again, he gets scolded and hit by his manager for not arriving on time. The manager also mocks him for his old clothes and dull appearance. Because of Chang-soo's mistake, his friend Guy, who got him the job, also gets scolded by the manager. On the other side, we see Era, who works at a big multinational company. She was very serious about her job and would always finish her work before time. Era had a friend named Eon, who was always thinking about boys and wanted Era to date someone too. But Era wasn't interested in dating at all. She wanted to stay single and enjoy her life. Meanwhile, Guy asked Chang-soo if he ever talked to a girl on the bus. Chang-soo said he never talked, and then Guy started teaching him how to flirt. As an example, he flirts with a girl named Coco, who works at the showroom. But Coco gives him a tight slap and he quickly hides his face and walks away embarrassed. At the same time, Era and Eon go to the office canteen to eat. But today, there's a new manager in the canteen. Where Era sees him, she realizes that is her ex, James. He says, "It's been 5 years since I saw you. Where have you been?" To which Era replies rudely, "Mind your own business." Meanwhile, Chang-soo manages to tell him to go buy a new suit. So he heads down to the showroom. But when the store worker starts telling him the price, he's stunned. The suits are super expensive. As he tries to leave, the most expensive suit in the store accidentally falls and gets torn. Now, unwillingly, Chang-soo is forced to buy the suit for 7 million won. He sits inside the showroom crying with the suit. When Guy arrives, he's shocked. Guy tries the suit on, but it ends up tearing even more, which makes Chang-soo cry even harder. But Coco had a bit of stitching torn clothes. So when she sees Chang-soo's suit is ripped, she sews it up for him. Now we're shown a mysterious man who had installed hidden cameras at many places to keep an eye on Era. When Era returns home, her sister and mother are loudly singing and creating a ruckus. She was fed up with both of them because her sister Eon didn't want to work at all and both of them would waste a lot of money. However, Era's mom had complete faith in Eon and believed that one day her younger daughter would become a big singer. Next, we see the scene of the following day. It was holidays, so Chang-soo had gone out alone on a little picnic. He was peacefully sitting and eating when football hit his ball and his ramen spilled. But since Chang-soo was a kind-hearted person, he forgave the guy and even invited him to eat with him. While eating, the guy tells him about his wife, how she had left him because he had become a headache instead of a man in her life. Chang-soo tells him, "I like a girl for a whole year too, but I don't even know her name. I just don't have the courage to speak up." Once again, we're shown the chairman who was getting the magical perfume made from the magical flower. He tells his wife it's almost ready. Meanwhile, Chang-soo is returning home after his picnic. Suddenly, some people turn off the street lights and release smoke in front of him. Through the smoke, an old man appears who had dropped his belongings. He asks Chang-soo for help in picking them up. While helping him, Chang-soo finds a glowing bottle of perfume among the items. When he tries to return it to the old man says, "This is yours. You've been chosen. This belongs to you." Now the scene shifts directly to the morning. Once again, Chang-soo wakes up late for work. He quickly gets ready and just as he's about to leave, he notices the perfume the old man gave him last night. He sprays it on himself and its fragrance is amazing. Wearing it, he heads out to work. But today, when he walks past any woman, they start following him because all the women are seeing their first love in Chang-soo. Each one sees him as the ideal boyfriend and starts stooning over him, even the old ladies. Then when Era gets on the bus, Chang-soo's fragrance causes butterflies in her stomach and makes her heart race. She can't understand why she's feeling this way. I hope you enjoyed the explanation. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel. Later, when Chang-soo reaches his office, he once again scolded by his manager for being late. But as soon as the manager smells Chang-soo's fragrance, he's done and can't say anything further. Then Guy comes over to ask Chang-soo why he is late. But when he smells the perfume, he also becomes curious and starts asking, "Bro, what perfume are you wearing? It smells amazing." But just then, the manager arrives and sees both of them in the situation and starts thinking all the wrong things. He tells them to leave the showroom immediately. Meanwhile, on the bus, Era tells Eun that when she saw a guy on the bus today, her heart started fluttering and she felt ticklish in her stomach. Eun says, "You've fallen in love with him." On the other hand, Chang-soo had figured out all this was happening because of that perfume. So to confirm it, he goes to the expensive suits showroom and sprays the perfume in front of the staff. As soon as the staff member smells it, she starts seeing her boyfriend in Chang-soo and starts clinging to him. That's when Chang-soo runs away from there. But no matter where he goes, girls start chasing him. Every girl in the mall even after him. Just then, Era spots him. She grabs him and hides with him in a corner. Then she asks him, "Who exactly are you?" Just as Chang-soo opens his mouth to tell her, she kisses him. But as soon as the perfume's effect starts to fade, she realizes her mistake and quickly apologizes before running off. Back home, Era keeps thinking about what just happened. Why did she do that? What was going on with her? She also tells Eun about it. Meanwhile, when Chang-soo goes to the office, the manager invites him to dinner as soon as he sees him. He also brings Guy and Coco along, but during dinner, the manager starts flirting with Chang-soo because the manager was half feminine, half masculine. Coincidentally, Eun and Era also arrive at the same restaurant. As soon as Era sees Chang-soo, she tells Eun they should leave. But when she realizes he's the same guy she kissed, she gets excited to take a better look at him. Era tries to calm her down and Chang-soo also notices them. When Guy finds out that Chang-soo kissed that girl, he also gets excited and wants to meet her. Chang-soo tells him to sit down quietly. After dinner, as Era is about to leave, Chang-soo follows her because she was heavily drunk. Chang-soo had also been drinking but still wanted to protect her. Before getting too close to her, he thinks, "Should I apply the perfume again?" But then wonders, will she like me without the perfume? Still, he ends up putting the perfume on and then sits near her. She looks at him and asks, "Why do we keep running into each other?" Hearing this, Chang-soo starts to walk away. But Era suddenly asks, "Do you want to sleep with me?" The next morning, we see Era waking up realizing the mess she made last night. Chang-soo is also extremely scared. They can't even look each other in the eye, then Era rushes off. Before going to the office, she hugs herself in regret, wondering how she could have done such a thing. Then she decides today she won't take the same bus that Chang-soo takes. But when she takes a different bus, she finds Chang-soo on the same bus because he too had decided not to take the usual daily bus today, just so he could avoid running into Era. When Era bus stop arrives, Chang-soo gathers some courage and gives her his phone number. Later, when Chang-soo gets to work, he asks Guy for some relationship advice for a friend. Guy asks, "What's the matter?" Chang-soo says, "My friend started a relationship based on a lie, but now he wants to tell the truth because the whole relationship began with dishonesty." Guy replies, "Even if it started with a lie, at least it started. That's better than being alone, isn't it?" Meanwhile, Era goes with Eun to a horoscope tarot reader to get a card reading. She asks, "What's the outcome of a relationship I'm getting to?" The tarot reader starts saying negative things about Chang-soo, but when Era says, "I won't pay for this kind of bad news," he suddenly switches and starts saying all good things about Chang-soo. Now, we see a nightmare scene where Chang-soo is sitting and watching Jap's 16 Pictures channel movie reviews. He gets a message from Era inviting him to meet at the aqua plant. Seeing this, he overjoyed. The next day, he gets all dressed up and goes to meet her. There, Era tells Chang-soo that she really likes fish. To impress her, Chang-soo recites a poem that he had written on his hand. Era is charmed by the fact that he did so much just for her. Slowly, both of them fall in love. And that day, Era returns home absolutely glowing with happiness. She feels amazing, and after this, they both grow very close. Now, we introduce to Era's ex-boyfriend, James, the guy we saw earlier in the canteen. He's the same person who was secretly keeping an eye on her. One day, Era and Chang-soo go to the restaurant for a meal along with Eun and Guy. At that moment, Guy is in the washroom and Eun, who doesn't really like Chang-soo, asks Era, "What do you even see in this skinny guy? Is he rich or something?" Chang-soo replies, "A friend of mine is about to join us too." Eun asks, "What does he look like?" Chang-soo says, "He looks just like Lee Kyu-bok." Hearing that, Eun gets super excited to meet Guy. But when Guy arrives, she doesn't like him at all, so she starts looking for excuses to leave. But every time she looks at his jawline, she totally loses it. She becomes so obsessed with him that she even drags him into the bathroom and tries to force herself onto him. After that, Chang-soo and Era rush in a separate to the two. A little later, Chang-soo and Era are walking home together. But suddenly, Chang-soo makes Era sit at a spot and leaves for a bit. Shortly after, he returns with a medicine for her because her foot was injured wearing high heels, but she was so happy being with Chang-soo. She was happy until she didn't even realize she was hurt. Era gets emotional seeing how much Chang-soo is caring for her. She hugs him and says thank you and kisses him. Now we see the scene from the next day where Chang-soo is trying to sell a car to a customer. That customer turned out to be none other than Era ex James. James tells Chang-soo, "Your perfume reminds me of my first love. I made this perfume." And then James leaves without buying the car. Later that evening, Chang-soo and Era go out to eat a place where Chang-soo really enjoys the food. That night, when Chang-soo is heading back home, he throws away the perfume because he wants to be with Era without using it. The next day, we see Chang-soo, Era, Eun, and Guy heading out for a picnic. While Chang-soo is taking sauce off his bag, he sees the same perfume. The one he threw away the previous night is back in his bag. Seeing that, he becomes very disturbed, and at that moment, he sees James walking away from the area. Later, Chang-soo gives Era a necklace as a birthday gift. During this moment, Chang-soo thinks about finally telling her the truth, that the first time she was attracted to him, it was because of the perfume, but he doesn't have the courage to do so. But after the picnic ends, as Chang-soo is walking home, he runs into James on the way. James tells him, "You're not her real love. She's only loved me. That's why you should tell her the truth and step away from her." Now we see the scene from the next day. When Era goes to her office, she finds a gift waiting for her. It's a bottle of perfume. She assumes it's from Chang-soo and calls him to say thank you, but Chang-soo replies, "I didn't send any perfume." Just then, James appears in front of her and says, "Nice perfume, right? I made it just for you." Era asks, "What is it that you actually want?" James replies, "Do you really believe you're in love with Chang-soo? Doesn't it seem strange to you that you suddenly fell in love with a complete stranger? Is it all because of the magical perfume I made?" Era says, "I don't believe a word you're saying," and starts to walk away. But James stops her and saying, "If you don't believe me, go ask him yourself, then call me. I want to show you something." Now we're shown the chairman again, the man who asked James to create this perfume. It turned out the chairman's wife had lost her memory. Despite all kinds of medical treatment, nothing worked. So the chairman had a special perfume created, hoping it would help her remember her first love, him. But the perfume didn't work on her. And that's why the chairman tells his secretary to destroy all the remaining bottles of the perfume. Meanwhile, Era goes straight to Chang-soo's house to meet him. She asks him, "I've been noticing for a long time that you've been wanting to tell me something but haven't been able to. Tell me what it is. I want to know the whole truth." Chang-soo then tells her, "I love you very much." But Era replies, "I don't, because I was forced into it. All of this happened because of that perfume. I started to feel like I was in love with you because of it." At that moment, she also notices the perfume bottle lying there. She starts crying and says, "So that means all those feelings, all those moments, they're all fake?" Chang-soo tries to explain things to her, but she refuses to listen and runs away with tears. Crying, Era heads straight to James' place, with Chang-soo following behind her. When Era reaches James' house, she sees that James had been making perfumes there and had been watching her. She confronts him. "What is all this? Why are you stalking me? Are you insane?" James replies, "I was just keeping an eye on my experiment." Just then, Chang-soo arrives and says, "So this means you did all this on purpose?" Era asks, "Why did you do this? Why did you make both of us fall in love?" James asks her, Because you weren't supposed to fall for him. You were supposed to fall for me. I always believed I was your first love, but then I found out you had never been in love before. Hearing this, Chang-soo loses his temper and starts beating up James. After all, because of James' experiments, everything between Chang-soo and Era was ruined. But James hit Chang-soo back and knocks him down. To make Era fall in love with him again, James sprayed a perfume on himself. However, to James' shock, Era starts seeing Chang-soo in him. In that moment, Chang-soo attacks James again and Era starts smashing the perfume bottles. James screams, "No, don't do that, I'll be ruined. That's the last bottle. The chairman already destroyed all the others." But Era doesn't stop and smashes the final bottle too. James breaks down and starts crying like a madman, and both Era and Chang-soo run away from there. After that, Chang-soo tells Era, "Even if you don't love me, I've been in love with you for the past 1 year." Era replies, "You are my first love," because when James sprayed that perfume on himself, all I could see was you in him. But Era feels that the whole relationship started on a lie, so she chooses to leave Chang-soo. She returns home and cries a lot. She even removes the birthday necklace he gave her and thinks back to all the good moments they spent together. Meanwhile, Chang-soo also breaks down and cries. Now we see the scene set a few months later where Chang-soo has improved himself a lot. He now manages to sell a car every day. Then one day, Era boards the same bus again. She's wearing the necklace Chang-soo gave her. As soon as he sees her, everything else around Chang-soo disappears, and once again, the two fall in love with each other. And with that, this feel-good movie comes to an end. Friends, how did you like this story? Let me know in the comments. And recently, we have explained few love stories and I hope you like them. If you haven't seen them, I will include the link in the description for your assistance. Don't forget to hit and like that like button. Comment your feedback and subscribe to our channel. Until the next video, take care.